On New Year's Day this year, I had this great idea. I was going to learn a new Te Reo Māori word every single day. I was so excited, I wrote it down on my big butcher's paper, wrote the goal down. I told my mum, because I read accountability was really important. Day 1, nailed it. Day 5, still going. And even by the end of week 2, I was really proud of myself, still going. And then normal life came back, right? And I forgot one day, and then one day turned into 2. And then a week went by, and then suddenly I was like, oh, whoops, that was like a thing that I was supposed to be doing over and over again. Sound familiar? Kia ora, ko Justin taku ingoa. I'm the founder of Online Kapa Haka. For the last 5 years, I've worked with over 130 schools around Aotearoa, helping them embed Te Reo Māori and Kapa Haka into daily school life. Not as a unit of work, not just as a term focus, but as something that genuinely is alive in the building, in the kura, every single day. And what I want to talk about today is the reason that's hard. And it's not the reason you think. It's not resources, it's not expertise, not time, although I hear of all of those reasons as well. It's actually this. Most schools mistake a launch for a rollout. Now, those two are completely different things. And once you see the difference, a lot actually starts to make sense. So a launch is like a single moment. But a rollout is what happens every day after that. A launch is the big PD, the assembly announcement, it's the morning tea where all the staff get together and learn the school waiata. It's that initial spark, and it's really exciting, right? There's so much possibility, it's really exciting for everyone, and those moments totally matter. But here's what I've noticed working with schools year after year. The launch gets the energy in the room, and then term 2 arrives. People get caught up. The good intentions are still there, the good intentions never really went anywhere, but day-to-day life just starts back up again. The classroom goes back to what's normal or what's comfortable, and those little routines that were supposed to happen for Te Reo and Kapa Haka just end up not happening. And the teacher in charge of Te Ao Māori is left holding all of that weight, running impromptu one-on-one PDs in the staff room, the same one over and over again, just for different teachers, or they're going into classrooms to check up or doing it themselves because otherwise it just won't happen, or they're remaking resources that weren't built to last because no one thought past that initial launch. And look, it's not because people are not buying in properly or staff aren't keen to give it a go. It's actually simpler than that. It's really just a systems problem. So just like my New Year's Day goal or the moment a rocket takes off, the launch is the exciting part. Only nobody planned the flight. So what does the flight actually look like? Well, here are 3 things I see in the schools where Te Reo genuinely sticks, where it's still happening in week 8, not just in week 2. The first thing, they define the standard in plain language. It's not, we want to embed Te Reo authentically. I hear this a lot in meetings and I understand the intention, but it's not quite specific enough to act on. Like, what does it look like on Thursday morning in room 9? The schools that make this work get really specific and concrete. They say things like, every class uses these 5 phrases daily, and here they are. Or every student knows this waiata by the end of the term. Here's the chords, here's the video, here's the backing track. Or every morning we start with a karakia, and here's the one we're using this term. So that specificity might sound rigid, but it isn't. It's actually really freeing because a teacher who knows what's expected, they don't burn energy wondering if they're doing it right. They just get on with it and start doing it. The second thing is they give teachers a mundane move. Now, what's a mundane move? A mundane move is the smallest possible action. Something a teacher can do on a Monday morning with no prep, no planning, no extra cognitive load. So a good example of a Monday move is the game Tahi Rua Tahi. It's a Te Reo counting hand game. It takes 2 minutes. It needs nothing. I don't need to prepare for it. The kids love it. And you can repeat it every single week and it still works. Or a teacher I was talking to recently who does pai questions every morning. So they get the kids who are leading the pai that day to ask the same questions in Te Reo and the other kids answer. Kei te pēhea koe, how are you? He aha te rā, what day is it? So it's the same every single day. That's the point. It becomes a rhythm. The mistake a lot of Te Ao Māori lead teachers make is giving teachers a vision without giving them a step. Big ambition's important, but without clear, immediate action, it just dissolves into a busy Tuesday. Monday move is traction. It's where ambition becomes little action. The third thing, Momentum doesn't live inside one person. Now this is a big one. So in most schools, te reo kapa haka lives or dies based on the energy of one human being. You know who that person is, maybe it's you. And when that person is stretched or out of the building or just having a hard, busy week, things just stop. The schools that really crack this build in simple visibility, right? So a teacher shares one small thing, a little win in the staff meeting, something their class did this week, or other ways of visibility. A student leads karakia at assembly. There's somewhere for the little wins to land that isn't just inside the TIC's, the teacher in charge's head. And it's nothing complicated, just enough structure that the momentum has somewhere to live beyond just one person. And here's the shift I want you to take from this. Think about brushing your teeth. So you didn't have a launch for brushing your teeth, right? There wasn't a big PD morning where everyone gathered in your house to talk about their vision for dental hygiene at your house, right? It's not an event. It's just a thing that you do. Because somewhere along the way, it became a system, a rhythm, a daily thing that costs you nothing because it's just part of how you move through the day. That's what te reo looks like in the schools that are really doing it. Not a big, exciting moment once a term, not something that's massively rocked by changes in the curriculum. It's just a rhythm, a small thing every day, and that adds up over time. So I actually figured this out the hard way with something completely unrelated. So last year I decided I wanted to make a short film every single day to keep up my acting and performance craft. And amazingly, I actually did it. I had 365 films in a year. But here's the thing, really important. It wasn't because of that inspiration moment like New Year's Day. It was because of how I set it up. I said that the film could be 5 seconds or it could be 5 minutes. It could take me 10 seconds to make or a few hours, but both counted. And I did versions of both of those throughout the year. The system was built into the goal itself. So on the hard days, I could still do it, even if it was just a few seconds. Te reo in schools works exactly the same way. You don't need a perfect day to do like a Monday move. You just need a Monday move that's small enough to survive the imperfect days. If your school had a great start to the year and things have drifted, that's not a failure. That's just what happens when you have a launch without a rollout. The energy you generated is still there. It didn't go anywhere. You're not starting over. You're just shifting focus from the launch to the flight. That's the thing. We're so close. And this shift is actually smaller than it sounds, and it really does make all the difference. Come find me at onlinekapahaka.com or just post a comment under this video. We'd love to hear where your school is at and what's working. Ngā mihi nui. I'll see you next time.